Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 3 of Tiny Bunny. Things are kicking up. Let's go. I really don't want to wait any longer. Monsters, Ghosts, UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Rosman Publishing. I've learned about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa Gorgon, and Bigfoot. Olia is always scared of the book. Well, yeah. She could barely handle sifting through the monster and aliens sections with me. But the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. Yeah, dude, ghosts freak me out. I hate ghosts. Phasmophobia hits freaking home. I remember hunting ghosts after I'd read that book. I measured the distance between items on my table every evening and checked if they moved due to some supernatural force come the morning. They didn't. Well, yeah, because your house probably isn't haunted, brother. Check now. But to be honest, what was I expecting? To meet Casper the Ghost? It doesn't matter, even if I met Casper the Ghost, like a friendly ghost. No, I don't want to see a ghost. I just noticed that. Is that Olia? What is she doing hiding in my room? I thought she was watching Aladdin. Should I leave her there? Make her believe that she frightened me? My Triceratops figurine. I know all sorts about all sorts of dinosaurs, velociraptors, afrovenators, hypsilophodonts, whatever. I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park back when we still lived in the city and taking pictures with the T-Rex in the hall. You had a T-Rex in the hall of the theater? That's crazy. It turned its head and roared. That's nuts. It was awesome. And next to it was a Robotech Transformer. I love this cartoon. Wait, did I click on something else? When a jet fighter speeds up in the intro among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will surely be amazing. Zentradi space station is captured. Rick, get ready for battle. What the frick is he talking about, man? I'm going to leave her there. I'm done talking about the pictures. I don't care. One of the drawers is empty. I hid the policeman's phone number along with the mitten there. Where are you, Vova? I just got an achievement. This simple action drained the last bit of strength. This? You better not. Okay. I said no. Only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort, as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The room's corners bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtain. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor, just like a savant of sorts. Olia? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dry lips. Yeah, Olia, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains. Could it just be boots under the curtain and someone outside? That would be scarier. As if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached towards the curtains. Ba-dum, ba-dum, beat my heart, controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. No, they probably weren't. I can't see through the curtain. They're looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. God. What the frig were you doing in there? And why did you have a movie on in the other room, woman? Gotcha. I knew it was you. No, you didn't. You suck. A blindingly bright halo lit above Olia's head with the setting sun as the background. A blindingly bright halo? My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. But I always reported, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her back to the window one day and sunlight poured on her smiling face. Felt like I was holding a child woven from light. That was beautiful. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just Olia ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, You stole something and hid it there? Are you a thief? What? Don't be stupid. Oh, but she's so curious. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind. That mitten hanging from a tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind black trees. Only it could be selfish and stubborn what she wanted. Then show me. Swear that you won't tell anyone? Swear that you won't tell anyone, then I'll show you. Olia wore a plotting smile. Chick, you got more to... I swear on Mom's heart. I know she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Don't say things like that. Olia nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her great giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Olia leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now you do understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander into the forest, right? You must be really cold out there. Well, a second ago it was covered in blood. Will they find him? They will. The police are going house to house, showing his photo to everyone. Olia traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going to houses and not the forest? That's a good point. Are they scared? Probably. The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. Yeah, right. Flashed in my clouded mind. Do they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? That's also a good point. Or did it appear later, for me? I changed the topic. As if trying to get Olia as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy by myself. A lot of stuff like in Field of Wonders. Sounds cool, right? Olia wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her. Uncharacteristic? There's like pleasant piano playing in the background, but it's so quiet I can barely hear it. What if the owl got him? Nonsense. An owl won't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's, I don't know, how should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like in the fairy tale? Yeah. No, not like that. Okay, don't give her something she can understand. More like in that spooky tape Mom and Dad are hiding from us. That's the worst thing you could have said. Olia shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back home so Mom won't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and her small fire could be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in the tower. Can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died of boredom. And you have me and your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other. We'll be good to each other soon. Aw. You know what I would wish for on my next birthday? I'd wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go and play together like we used to. That's weird. Yeah, and if we'd make them as small as bugs, we could place them into a little box. What? Man, I wish my mom was a bug so I can stick her in a box. Ugh. Jeez. Olia giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue went over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to. Come on. It's so boring alone, and Mom is always busy. You can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of our tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? And so much happens after that. Let's go. Let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? No. That would be the whole point. Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Olia. Then draw me a dino. He did draw that. No, he has a... Never mind. Olia, please. Draw it, draw it. She's so excited. Will you leave me alone? Aw. Now you're yelling at her. Aw. I blurted it out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I'd never screamed at my little sister like that. Olia stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. Aw. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Olia from crying. All right, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put my hands on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo, you'll fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops. Well, close enough. That face is kind of freaky. And the white eyelashes are a little weird. Olia rubbed her eyes with the sleeve on her pajamas, and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you can rewind the tape. I don't know what condensed milk is. The bread is fresh, just how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Wanna bet? The tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Mittens on the thing. Olia disappeared into the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. This is her room. What time period is this? Why does she have a metal bed frame? Oh, it's pretty early because VHS's weird antenna on a huge 500-pound TV. I rifled through her stuff. Why does that teddy bear sound like a cow? Olia's countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Olia doesn't sleep without it. And she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Aw, that's adorable. Piggy bank. Olia's saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him will take a lot of money. That's also adorable. Oh, I didn't check for the thing. Whoops. The old Photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up and a familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. Really? Why? I almost reached out to the I just want to get through this. Oh, God. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my window. It doesn't sound reversed. It doesn't sound reversed, it sounds distorted. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, the scenery was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? Local TV station only showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Jeez, that freaking white noise. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Olia had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. Is that your way of telling me I can only do one thing? Yeah. I can either mess with the TV set or look for the tape. I want to do both so bad. I have a feeling, though, that this isn't Anton's story. This is Olia's story. It's more about her. So I'm gonna focus a little more on her. I sifted through the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. Wow, that's Russian. I was gonna try and read it. Predator. That's not Russian. That's funny. I found the tape I needed to thanks to its shabby spine. I got the black rectangle from its box. Neverland achievement. Wow. The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Well, yeah, because you're staring at an insanity device. Images whirled in my head. Me and Olia flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed that the clouds underneath us part, bearing the bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us, Olia. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. What? I thought it is liquid. It's a can Of liquid milk? So confusing. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. Mom and Dad are arguing again. They're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. She's On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Olio was entertained by the cartoonish dog Nana. Oh, that looks awful. Maybe that's not... Okay, maybe Mom and Dad will buy us a dog, too. Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in the Neverland, and a cat, and a parrot. Olio smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Ew. What is that, man? What is condensed milk? I have no idea. And it doesn't sound good. Have you lost all of your baby teeth? Obviously. Olya frowned, deep in thought. Why would you respond so mean? Peter Pan has baby teeth. What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport. And why would Dad forge documents? Olya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. He will. I heard Mom say he did that before. He'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Olya got worried and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. Oh. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a land where no one ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. I felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Tony, shut the curtains fast. Why? No one's watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. They're closed. Are they not? Closed. I see no difference. I did my best not to look outside, toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow. Tony, Mom thinks I made the owl up. And Dad, too. Thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You do believe me, right? That it comes every night and... I swiftly grabbed Ollie's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, alright? Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens, and don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed, like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad say. It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. If it was a real owl, but it ain't, it's a demon. It was madness, but after everything that's happened recently, I was more and more inclined to believe Olya's owl existed. Da-da-da-da-da-da. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened. As if the Force didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Jeez. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. Captain Pan? I don't think I've ever actually seen that movie. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Ollie's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Ollie's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Hey, enough playing around. Sorry, we were being kids for a second. We weren't annoying you, but whatever. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Good point. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? I don't want to be teased, period. Adults think everything is so simple, as if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a thick blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? When did I hear a flute? I don't remember. Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. Oh, oh, aw. I thought. So I'm stupid. I have Tiny Bunny Prologue. It's actually a game on Steam in early access still because it's supposed to be 5 episodes and there's 2 out right now. This apparently was the end of the first one. So now I need to go buy the game and actually play the game. I mean, I might as well cut it here, right? That's a good chunk. Didn't really do much, I suppose. But hey, story is important in a visual novel, especially a horror visual novel about setting up the scene and the plot and everything. I'm still so curious. I really hope that I don't have to go to school and read about all his classmates and crap. I don't care about them at all. I want him to be like, I went to school and it was stupid. And then he comes home and then this stuff happens. But either way, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.